Brought Yahweh, brought Yahweh Shai, brought Yahweh, brought Yahweh Shai, brought Yahweh, brought Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Karakadash, all praises, honor, glory, love, respect, and faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shai. Thank you so much what you done, what you doing, what you gonna do. Double honors to your apostles and the elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from and all the men scattered all over the world teaching and preaching the truth and nothing but the truth in the name and the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shah, trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, showing you the times we're living in, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you speckled birds, you so-called look like so-called white people, Chinese people, but you could be an Israelite, if you know. Anyway, more videos about or another video about food and got other countries talking about food riots. I seen other brothers videos talking about food riots and things, certain events taking place, people getting laid out, not in like saying in a funny way, but just getting killed during these events. And yeah, it's getting serious, and moments soon later it's coming to America. Yeah, one way or another it's coming to America. But anyway, I was watching this video with Ice Age Former some hours ago, talking about digital food ration rollout using biometrics IDs and amid food riots. Anyway, playing it. It's already been played a little bit. I ain't finished up
Controlling
the
people.
video. Let me go to the beginning.
If you can always pay in cash, you don't need help finding a credit card. If not, there's Credit Karma.
The time to prepare for the future is right now. Emergency Essentials sells the best emergency food products on the market.
Welcome. The mark is here. Iran.
And he's saying the mark like the MOTB. I'm like, whatever they have that's the ID, digital ID, it's not that's not the mark, the MOTB yet. It's steps to it, it's levels to it. But you want to say he's talking about implant because I ain't hear nothing in this video about implanting something digital inside human under human flesh yet. But anyway, I'm gonna play it.
Is set to be the first country to roll out a biometric digital ID needed in order to buy food. Needed in order to eat. Right? Needed in order to survive.
But he said biometrics, but is it implantable? Yeah.
Must go get your digital ID from the government. The same digital ID that central banks are telling us is needed in order to roll out the central bank digital currencies. The same digital ID that the World Economic Forum establishes is at the very crux of this fourth industrial revolution. Yeah, all of that. Now you need to go get your ID in order to eat. Now there's some interesting details about the way Iran is implementing this that I want to walk through today because I think this is a bellwether for how it's going to be rolled out around.
And biometrics could be your eye, using your eye retina or your fingerprint. Yeah.
The rest of the world. And
or your whole hand.
Make no mistake, this is food rationing based on your digital ID. Let's read down here. You're able to buy as much bread as you want, but if you want to get the subsidized prices, then you're going to need the ID. Then you'll have access to, quote, a limited amount of bread at subsidized prices. And you can keep buying the rest at market rates if you want, right? You can buy as much bread for $1 million a loaf as you want. But for the 50% of Iran that lives below the poverty line...
Yeah, it says includes fingerprints, eye, retina, and iris scanning, voice recognition, facial pattern or facial recognition, body movement, yeah, knowing how you walk, your certain style of walking, your predictability of how you move, including girth, your size. Yeah, from height, you short, tall, fat, or skinny, built, muscular. They're scanning the definition of how your arms are like, how your legs are like, and probably how I don't know how many pores you got on your skin? Oh no, 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 no. That's a little too much. But I say your hair, your body hair. If it's shaved, if you're hairy, if you're semi-hairy, how much hair? They probably can count how many hairs on your leg. Well, no, they won't do that. Go that far, cause you could wear different lengths of like shorts, for example. But anyway, let me get on back to the video.
That's not an option, right? Their only option is to go get in line and accept this mark, this digital biometric ID to which all resources are being tied. Not just bread, but according here, the scheme will later include all goods such as chicken, cheese, vegetable oil, and so on and so forth. So this is a pretty big deal. Let's talk about it. I'm Christian, and this is the Ice Age Farmer broadcast. And there's a lot to this story, from the fact that they cut off the internet for regular users to the fact that there have been already fatal food riots and protests. So let's break it down. Here from Reuters, soaring bread prices spark protests and shop fires in Iran. May 13th, soaring bread prices have triggered protests in which some shops were set on fire, encouraging 22 arrests. The protests were triggered by a cut in subsidies for wheat that caused price hikes as high as 300% for flour-based staples. The inflation rate in Iran is already 40 to 50%, depending on who's counting, and half of 82 million people there are already living below the poverty line. So digging in further, the cut on bread subsidies is something that the Iranian government says we have to do it. We can't just keep subsidizing all bread forever. So what we're going to do now is just subsidize a little bit of bread for everyone that has this ID. Quote, the government will offer citizens digital coupons. That's the way they dress it up. Digital-friendly coupons with a smiley face on it that will allow them to access a limited amount of bread at subsidized prices. The rest will be available at market rates, right? You can buy as much as you want as long as you pay exorbitant prices for it. As long as you're a millionaire, you can do whatever you want. This scheme will be enforced within 2 months. The scheme will later be expanded to include other goods like chicken, cheese, and vegetable oil, according to officials. Raisi extolled the benefits of reforming these subsidy scheme, finally covering everything from oil to bread. Many cash-strapped Iranians already rely on this.
Let me skip a little bit. You should get the idea. It's about biometrics.
Users' digital
Hold on, what was that? It says UID. UID, your ID. Anyway, to supply biometric digital ID app to Iran's national police. Huh. But that's not gonna be good enough. Cause usually the image I was showing you about the biometrics ID, that's like on cards and such. They show you like facial feature, facial pattern, um, and I don't know what the number is. They probably come up with a number for your eye retina and your fingerprint too, showing you a image of your fingerprint. But yeah, you can have it on your phone too. But I'm not saying that the implantable ID is not real. It's real. It's been real, I believe, around in the 80s. And right now, it's coming. So beware the MOTB, man, that was saying in the Bible in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16.
the new app that you do like a 10, 15 second
And the ad about to kick on. I'm just going ahead and wrap this video up. But if you want to check this video out, they go to the title of it, and they go to the name of the guy's channel. And let's move on to another one, because I don't want to play this whole video all the way through. To show you exactly what's going on in, was it Iran? I mean, I think it's in Iran. Yeah, Iran. Was it Iran cut subsidies on import wheat. The price of flour increased tenfold. And it says in the Bible, let's go to it. If I can remember where I put it. Man, I got brain cloud, man. Hold on, let me zoom in a little bit more. Brain kind of cloudy. Okay, it's not there. It's not there. And yeah, you know what? Let me get to this real quick for the RFID, and then we go back to where I was checking out. Let's see, Revelation, the first video with the guy from Ice Age former about the biometrics. The Iranians got to get a biometrics ID to be able to get food. And well, oh yeah, further in the video, he was talking about if you got money, you can get food. But shit, what if you ain't got the food? You got the money, but you ain't got they ain't got the stores, ain't got the food. I don't know how this shit go work. Anyway, let me go ahead and read the scriptures. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And cause of and he caused of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. And they're getting further and further, closer and closer. Not further, but closer and closer to that implantable one. And they ain't got to worry about no fingerprints. Let's go ahead and show you what is. I show you this in my other channel in many videos, and I'll show you it in this video on this channel. Um, I mean, damn, I'm typing on. And you know, you got what's his name? Elon Musk. He has his version, but his goes in your brain. This one goes underneath your skin, like your hand. It can go in your foot. It can go in your leg. It can go anywhere in your body. You know, you can buy these little things. This one here probably like 300. I'm not 300. Like 100 of these suckers for that much. Yep. Damn, this is one with like a screw. Yep. Damn, man. I was like, never mind. I ain't gonna bring that up. I got a book that says, I bought a book back in 2015, I believe, 14 or 15, about Are You Ready to Be Micro CHIP. I haven't even read the book, but I knew it was about. But I had bought that book off of Amazon, and that was before I was in the truth. And or the Lord led me into the truth, or brought me into the truth. And I knew about what it was. I mean, you know, it's a book about it, but you don't have to read no book to know what it is now. Everybody and their grandma should know what it is by now, but unfortunately, not all. But as you can see, even on your fingernail, because you got people that's doing that shit, putting CHIPs on their fingernail and painting it with clear paint polish, so making it easier. But some shit, that's just on your fingernail. Soon it's gonna be in like, in that, yeah, in that area in your hand. Yep. But yeah, these cats ready to get rowdy, man, and they gonna be bodies hitting the floor. Shit, let the bodies hit the floor. It's gonna be like that when they bring out them guns. They already got some of them got shot up. They got another one too. I think it's the same video but a different channel. Same video but different channel. Anyway, go ahead and get these out the way. But back to let me get back to what they talking about right now. And this one here, there's protests and people getting shot. People getting tired of this crap. But there's protesting going on everywhere. If it's not about one thing, it's gonna be about something else. Yep. Trying to find out where is it at. Hmm. Nope, that ain't it. Oh, it'd be division. I think it'd be division. me see. Where is it at? Now, right now, dang on. To my sedition. Oh, let me just type in sedition. Let me just type in. I forgot how you spell sedition. Is a sedition. Sedition. Yeah, and I C is D. I don't care, Google. Go away. And there's gonna be a lot of that too. Yeah. Cause that's what Esau Edom gonna want, so-called white man, but he ain't white, he red all over. That's what he gonna want. He gonna have hired agents, and it could be genuine, but he could have agents, um, inciting, pretending like they're inciting the government. They could be paid agents, and whatever. And you know how to do. And then another thing too, he can hire these agents, and he can actually kill these agents. And these agents be like, they don't even expect it. What's gonna happen? They just paid protesters, not knowing that they about to be put to death. That's how messed up he is now. Yeah. But anyway, second Esdras, I can't pronounce that word. Uh, anyway, but I want to read it. Chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or nor princes, nor the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Yeah, man. And a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. Yeah, these folks here, they gonna be locked downs and such. Look at Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, whatever you can call that place. Yeah, man. Then China, they still on a lockdown too. Yeah, or not China, but the certain city. I forgot which city that was. Shanghai, I think, or some other city. They they still on a lockdown, I'm pretty sure. And they ain't playing around. Shit. Yeah. And yeah. People gonna be acting a fool. And meanwhile, I'm saying acting a fool. Let's keep on reading. What is it? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall not pity upon his neighbor. You're acting a fool, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulations. Yeah. I don't think this video gonna be too long, but no, let's keep on going. Let's say risk of social unrest in poor countries is very high as food prices not accelerate, escalate, says expert. Man, you ain't gotta be an expert.
What if positive change was only one design away? Some say design is beyond most people's reach. We say it's already in your hands. So, what will you
Yay,
design
yay,
today?
yay, 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 yay. Anyway,
Food prices were already on the rise even before the war, and even if the war ends,
yeah.
it's hard to imagine that sanctions are suddenly going to come off as well. In which case, do you expect food prices to remain elevated for some time?
Russian invasion of Ukraine makes an already bad situation significantly worse. There is the direct effect on production in Ukraine.
Yeah, but you say that, but then you got these other nations, they're not involved in that Russian-Ukraine shit. And they're talking about it, blocking off. But this is 2000. I mean, not 2000. Yes, 2022 was April the 8th. And but you got other countries. Hell, they had some countries banning export. Like India was talking about this, I think, back in April. I think India was talking about doing stuff like this in April, but they wasn't. I don't know. Well, I know it was a country that had nothing to do with Ukraine, and even other countries been banning deep sea fishing. What else they been banning? I don't know. They've been banning a lot of things. Hell, they damn near want to ban people from catching rainwater. But anyway, get back to the video.
The direct effect of sanctions on Russian exports, but also the indirect effect of oil prices, which feed directly into the cost of fertilizer, which affect the cost of shipping, and which are making the situation even worse. So to the extent that sanctions remain in place and that the hostilities continue, food prices aren't going any lower.
You know, for people like us, you know, in very fortunate situations, we go to the supermarket and it's an annoyance that our grocery shopping is more expensive. But for some people, in some countries, it's a matter of life and death. To what degree do you expect food shortages and escalating food prices, Maurice, to be something that causes massive both economic and political upheaval?
It's a real danger. As you say, for most of us, we'll see food prices causing inflation to go up, and that will be
Now, you know it's funny. All these experts, I can't remember anybody who's standing in front of a camera. They're in their home, I guess, or in the office. Have you ever seen? I don't think I ever seen anybody that's in a room when there's no books on the wall. But every time there's an expert, there's books on the wall. And I guess it shows that they know they're educated. They know they're full of knowledge and wisdom. But damn sure you ain't gonna see no Holy Bible up on here on the wall. Maybe one over here somewhere, hiding somewhere that's dusty as fuck. Yeah, it's got a bunch of dust on it. Ain't never been opened since he bought it or somebody gave it to him. But anyway, I know all these books been opened and read, maybe. But he got all those books. And he's showing he's an expert. But it don't take an expert to figure out what's going on. It's just the spirit of the Lord put on you. Hell, most people don't even know Yahweh Shema Shah, and they see the times coming. But you got to have Yahweh Shema Shah to, hey, to have that protection and that covering. Yeah, you got to have Yahweh Shema Shah, that protection and covering. There's a lot of people that knows, they see what's going on, but they don't tie it in with the Bible. They don't want to accept it. That it's spiritual. It's a spiritual power that's in control of all this, of what's going on here on earth. Well, let me finish up the video.
inconvenient. That will reduce real income. But the escalation of food prices hits the poor most powerfully because they devote a much larger fraction of their spending to food. It hits poor countries more powerfully, where their populations are also more dependent on food. In past food spikes, for example, 2007, 2008, and 2010, just before the Arab Spring, there was widespread social unrest. And I would expect the risk of that is, again, very high.
Hello, my name
Yeah, I'm looking for the video or what I was talking about. Not video. I'm looking for the scripture I'm talking about who create the evil, who create all things. I forgot which one is that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, man. Yeah, the Lord created all these things, man. He creating this famine. He creating this it's not famine, but well, he creates famine, but he creates food shortages. He creating the dollar to be devalued. He creating this gas and diesel price, fuel prices to go up. He's creating his housing market to go to shit. He creating all these bad things. And anyway, let me read Isaiah Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, I, the Lord, do all these things. Yep, he do all them things. He create good things, he create bad things. He can wake people up if he want to, and he can keep people in deep slumber.
is Evan Fraser, and I work at the University of Guelph in Ontario, Canada. This video series shows that
And yo, this is back in 2014, June 15th, 2014, and it's just a drawing. Or illustrate animation. I don't know what you call it. But hold on, what does it say? Is by 2050 there will be 9 billion people on the planet, but but will they be enough food for everyone? I'm pretty sure he's pushing this same thing that the elite are pushing through their media, constantly talking about, well, I would say depopulation, but they are, but the worries of how you say it, the worries of this world, what is coming into, and damn, he don't have nothing new. He stops at 9 months. Cybersecurity threats to digital agriculture. Okay. And hold on. Didn't we already claiming stuff like this already? It's a cybersecurity threats to digital agriculture. Um, it's talking about hackers. What was it, a couple weeks ago? Talking about hackers hacked farmers, or no, it could be a so-called cyber threat on farmers that I guess they using. I guess they use you know, those the robot tractors or something. I don't know. Anyway,
Climate change, population growth, and high energy prices mean that farmers may struggle to produce enough food for all of humanity over the next generation. 2000
the next generation, that's shit right now. That ain't even like that's only like shit 8 years ago. I mean eight, yeah, eight. No, what is it, 8 years? No, yeah, about 8 years. Yeah, about 8 years later. 8 years later, about 7 or 8 years later, and here we are now. And I hope we don't have another year, but I'm pretty sure we gonna have another year of this shit. I just pray we don't make it in old 2024, but I have a feeling 2023. It's funny, 2023 or just number 23. I be thinking about it sometimes, like the number 23, how significant that number is. You got Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player, number 23. Then you got the movie 23 with Jim Carrey. I'm not gonna get into that right now. That's a whole for another video, and I probably ain't gonna forget. I'm already gonna forget anyway.
2010 was a rough year for the global food system. Droughts and wildfires consumed about 25% of Russia's wheat harvest, and the Kremlin decided to stop exporting wheat to international markets.
Oh, word.
Food prices skyrocketed, and the countries of the Middle East, which regularly bought this Russian wheat, were hardest hit. Within months, food riots had spread across the Arab world, and the food price crisis of late 2010 is
That's Arab. I thought the Arab world was in you know, in the Middle East, in Europe. But I guess you got Arabs in Africa too. Yeah.
now seen as the beginning of the Arab Spring, the toppling of Arab governments across the Middle East that unfolded in 2011. Experts watched these events in horror, and many of us wondered, if food prices remain high and volatile over the next generation, is this a sign of things to
And they saw if the experts are worried, shit, they should have seen this shit coming, especially if they're experts.
come? Many think so. One newspaper article I read argued, a hungry man is an angry man. In another, nothing sends a person into the streets quite like an empty stomach. Dominique Strauss-Kahn, then head of the International Monetary Fund, said, as we know, questions about food security sometimes end in war. And as a
And hey, that's what we leading to right now. Yup. We're leading to that World War III. Let me get rid of this. Yeah, we leading to that World War III right now. They ain't saying it yet, but pretty much say we are in World War III. Shit.
result, a great many experts argued that thanks to population growth, we will need to produce a lot more food if we want to keep prices low and prevent more rioting. But while assuming a connection between
But there's gonna be more rioting because they want chaos out in the streets, and they got an agenda of depopulating people and controlling them. But hey, the Lord has an agenda too, to also depopulate people, but not to control them, but to depopulate people, but also gather up his wheat, his elect, and burn up the tares, which would be the undesirables, the people who's in this world, from the 2/3 of Israel to the heathens. But they're not, they just burn them up. They weeds. They're not tares or weeds. I mean, they just straight up weeds. But anyway, they ragweeds. The heathens are ragweeds. But yeah, it's gonna go down.
Food shortages, rising food prices, hunger, and violence seems logical, on closer inspection things become less clear. For instance, the places in the world where people are hungriest are not necessarily where the food riots happened. Similarly, across the 1990s and 2000s, the world's food supply stayed both stable and
Hold on, go back to that map.
necessarily where
So damn, China's the hungriest? Oh, hold on. Riots, blue. Hungry. Oh, I thought they'll have the whole country, whole continent of Africa hungry. Yeah. Well, let's see. Around 2014, of course, there was riots. Eh, you would think there'll be some riots over in Russia, but that shit, all they gotta do is shoot them niggas up or beat the crap out of them till they almost dead. But anyway, oh yeah, India, both riots and hungry.
the food riots happened. Similarly, across the 1990s and 2000s, the world's food supply stayed both stable and comfortably ahead of demand. In the early 1990s, we had about 2,600 kilocalories per person per day on the planet. By the year 2010, there were about 2,850 kilocalories per person.
And I guess and that's more. What's kilocalories? Kilocalories. What is kilocalories? Okay. The calorie is a unit of energy. For historical reasons, two main definitions of calorie. Okay, that's not telling me much. Is a kilocalorie the same as calorie? The calorie we refer to in food is actually kilocalorie. 1 kilocalorie is the same as 1 calorie. Oh, so it's the same as calorie. A kilocalorie is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature for 1 kilogram of water 1 degree Celsius. Okay,
Per day. All this suggests
so we consume it with shit. Yeah, well, you got people consuming more than that. Now, I guess I don't know. It's the average. That's what they looking at, the average.
that those links between food shortages, rising food prices, hunger, and violence are much more complicated, and simply producing more food won't mean there is any less violence. To explore this issue in more detail, I've worked with a small team on the social and political consequences of food price rises. I began by interviewing people from Cameroon about the causes of the 2008 food riots. I expected to hear that people were hungry and that hungry people were desperate. But instead, what I heard was different. One respondent told me that the riots were caused when a group of merchants took advantage of everyone. The merchants are cutthroat business guys who don't give a damn about people.
You know what? He should be. Well, it's only black and white, but he should be. No, actually, I'll take that back because some of the images they were showing were in color. How come he's not brown and he's black? I mean, he's white. He should be red or pinkish red.
What strikes me as interesting about this comment is that the speaker is not linking desperation and riots, but is rather saying that the riots were caused by moral outrage and anger. Our team then conducted extensive interviews in both Haiti and Cameroon, both countries that experienced bad riots in 2008. And in both countries, we saw a number of similarities. For instance, in
Earthquake too.
both places,
Haiti got that shit shooken up.
corruption, poverty, urban unemployment, globalization, and political marginalization were key factors that led people to riot over food prices, not food shortages. These results are important because the sorts of policies that the experts often believe will stop food riots normally focus on promoting high-quality seeds and other modern
Oh, well, high quality like them GMO seeds, genetically modified organism seeds. Yeah. And oh yeah, the baby food shortage, supposedly, is a so-called baby food shortage. But hey, they already got a solution for all that. You know, Mr. Microsoft man, shit, he invested in them GMO baby food, or the lab grown baby food or lab baby food. Oh yeah. Just like what else he there? Oh yeah, the lab grown meat. Oh yeah, he invested in that too. But actually it's not him. It's actually coming from the elite. They just use him as the front guy. Just to mind you if you're new to this, they use all these individuals you see that put on TV, you hear him on the radio, see him on the internet, and they praise him up, prop him up as the guy that's going to save the world. No, it's just bullshit. And really, and they'll not just say the word. If you know the guys, these people are full of shit. They're not the ones you should be mad at. You should be calling on the people who are truly above those little, Mr. Microsoft and Mr. Tesla, whoever else. There's people above them, and it'd be like your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, your DuPonts, your Vanderbilts, your whoever the hell else, them damn trillionaires, and they ain't just billionaires, it's trillionaires or exillionaires.
and
Yep.
agricultural tools to boost production. But the poor cannot afford these. So promoting these tools may displace poor people from their land, forcing them to
And of course, it gotta be Israelites, of course, because we're the poor of this world. It ain't just so-called blacks, but Latinos, Native Americans. As you can see that map, where I'm at, uh, 33.8 or 338. Let's go back to that map. Let's go back to that map. Where that map at? They show you like a color chart. There you go.
where people are hungriest are not necessarily where the food riots.
Now look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Now I don't see how just this little area. I mean, that ain't little. Well, it's little compared to the whole country of South America. But damn, is Brazil? I don't know what side of this country is. Let's check that out. South America map. And I'm trying to say is that these countries, mostly a lot of like brown, other nations that not first developed or so-called Edomite majority of Edomites that dwell in these countries or continents, they're not having any riots, no hunger issues. You know, they're living it up. South America map. There's always these countries that's either melanated or people of different nations that having issues. And I guess America shows seeming like they're civilized and Europe seem to be civilized. Well, some part hell, Italy, they're in the red. How come they ain't got this shit in order? Because I guess they got a lot of Jakes in Italy. Yeah, a lot of Israelites, that look like Edomites, speckled birds there. I don't know. Well, anyway, and you got Australia. Let's see what country that is. Let me see. What is that? It's Peru, some parts of Chile. Oh, a very small part of Chile. You got Paraguay and uh, Baravala. I can't pronounce that. And look like they got. I don't know what the hell. I can't even zoom in this sucker. I screw it. I'm out of here. Anyway, go back to the video. Let me see where I left off at.
Is where they become the urban poor, disenfranchised and alienated from the economic system. And
But yeah, like that map I show you, all those places that are all white, guess what? They gonna be both. They gonna be when they show both black, instead of red and light blue, it's gonna be black.
likely to riot. We also observed that food price rises can be used as a
And of course Esau. It looked like Monopoly. Mr. Moneybags.
political tool to bring down entrenched and powerful governments. And we saw evidence that political opponents organized food protests even when there was actually enough food. Does
And then they throw a Molotov cocktail in the food.
this mean we don't need to promote agricultural productivity? I don't think so. Indeed, as we face a world of 9 billion people and climate change, we are going to need to produce all the food we can. But the policies that
Well, how about this? Why don't y'all promote growing your own shit instead of trying to ban seed production or creating GMO seeds? Why don't you just have people? Well, no, you can't because he's the wicked. The earth is ruled by the wicked. You know, they're not going to promote people to do the right thing to preserve the earth by cutting less trees down or stop spraying, what's it, weed killer Roundup on dandelions, because dandelions is used as a medicinal. It's not a weed. You put dandelions into damn common household medicine like, what is it, Tylenol? I think it's Tylenol, or Advil. They put it in stuff like that. Hey, for painkiller, I believe, and some, I don't know what else. For headaches, I don't know. But you can eat dandelions, but you can't eat the ones that have been sprayed on constantly and constantly and constantly every single freaking like every 6 months, maybe more.
lead to greater agricultural production must be seen in a different light to policies geared at reducing food riots. If policymakers in the future want to avoid a repeat of food riots, then they need to address unemployment, urban poverty, and political.
Well, they are doing that. We still need, but they're addressing urban poverty. Oh, urban shit. This shit going to suburban unemployment and rural unemployment. Shit. It ain't just urban, like it's all in the city. It ain't just in the cities, outside the city and way outside, out in the boonies.
Reform. But this is a separate activity from policies to increase food production that could focus on seeds, fertilizers,
Yeah.
and farm equipment.
Well, we don't have much seeds. We don't have much fertilizer and the farm equipment. The diesel, food, I mean, fuel on diesel is getting up high. And then what else? Equipment is getting more expensive. You can't even get equipment to fix your tractors or get your tires because the tires at low demand or not. I mean, the tires at high demand, the parts at high demand, they're not producing the tires and the parts. And you got a lot of farmers out there that's just bailing out or either committing suicide, losing it, because their business is getting shitty, and then plus they're getting ripped off by corporations. Um, you know, and their own states and counties are probably trying to take their land by raising up the taxes, and they're not making enough money. And when they ain't making enough money, then hey, they gonna lose that property and lose their business, and you know, that's it.
If you're interested in learning more about
No, I'm not. I don't want to look at cartoons anymore. But I will read the scripture though. Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 16. And I've been reading it many times. And you don't like it? Oh well. Tough titty. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. So will I send upon you famine and evil beasts that, evil beasts that gonna mess people up, eat them, kill them, whatever, and they shall bereave thee. What is bereave? I think I had looked that up. Let me look it up on the. Well, yeah, just look it up on over here. And definition.
Bereave.
Yeah, bereave. Um, to be deprived of a loved one through a profound absence, especially due to the love one's death. Well, yeah, it's something that sounds pretty bad. Bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord, Yahweh Bashimashah, have spoken it. Yep. And yep. Let's get to the next video. And it's talking about 2nd April, April the 2nd, 1863. The Richmond Bread Riot shows hundreds of women in Virginia loot storehouses and shops. Yeah, this is 1863. And you know there was a bunch of Edomite women. Cause who the hell in 1863 was doing that? Wouldn't be no damn. Hey, they show us that they doing it, but snatching up Jordans and whatever else. But hey, look at them. They been looting. Well, they been looting food. There were no Air Jordans back then. But hell, you had Jason looting food since what was it, the grocery stores and shit. But then you had, what was it, back, was it 2020? Black Lives Matter. You just had a bunch of Edomites dressed all black and shit, looking like ninjas, uh, like looking like the Foot Clan, tearing up stores and businesses that are owned and ran by so-called black people and so-called Edomites and so-called Chinese people and so-called Arabs, so-called all of them. And you had these Edomites, these so-called white people, little young whippersnappers, they tearing up shit, you know, but they didn't get nothing to blame, you know. But anyway, let's go on to this video.
We power your freedom to create breakthrough digital experiences. Go big with WP Engine.
Hello, and welcome to HistoryPod. On the 2nd of April 1863, the Richmond bread riot saw hundreds of women in the state of Virginia break into storehouses and shops to loot food and valuables. In the 3 years that preceded the riot, Richmond's population had more than tripled as refugees flooded into the city to escape the American Civil War that was raging in the surrounding area. This disrupted agricultural production while simultaneously driving up demand for the little remaining food that wasn't being taken to feed Confederate troops. Outside the city, the Union blockade was successfully stopping imports, while inside, income had not kept pace with rampant inflation.
Hey man, nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. They was doing this shit back in the 1800s. Nothing new under the sun. Hell, they would. I don't know how further back they're doing the same thing, but the Lord say shit, and nothing new under the sun. They doing the same thing. What the hell? This image? It's like some. I don't know. Look like someone with a gun or something. Somebody falling, hitting the floor, shooting them, and they look like little black figures. Yeah, dark figures. I wonder who they are.
These underlying problems were brought to a head in March 1863. Shortly after bad weather made it almost impossible to bring new food supplies into the city, Confederate President Jefferson Davis called for a day of fasting and prayer, which only served to anger the already starving population.
They like shit. They can't fast. Oh, this dude got horns on his head. What the hell? This dude got horns on his head. Hey. Yeah. Yeah.
5 days later, on the 1st of April,
And was that the preacher man? Yeah, he got horns on his head. And yeah, it's a day of fasting prayer. Yeah. He got horns on his head.
Meredith met at Belvedere Hill Baptist Church, where they decided to demand a meeting with Virginia Governor John Letcher. Letcher's address on the morning of the 2nd of April failed to satisfy the women, who had already armed themselves with axes, hatchets, and various other assorted weapons. With the cry of bread or blood, the women marched to the city's market district, where they broke into government storehouses and nearby businesses.
Hey, that was a little image of something like an Israelite.
Nearby businesses.
But damn, whatchamacallit went away.
City's market district, where they broke into government.
Yeah, there you go, right there. Matter of fact, picture right here. You can't get a bigger picture of it. Hell no, you can't. It's right there on. Yeah, that little Israelite running. The bitch got a gun. The Israelite look like he got a little something in their hand. Look like a little boy. Yeah, he got something in his hand. Got a little bread.
Storehouses and nearby businesses. Both Governor Letcher and Jefferson Davis
And one bitch got her baby out.
tried to quell the riot, with the latter even offering his own food and money in an attempt to stop the violence. The riot eventually subsided after Davis threatened to order the Confederate Army to open fire. More than 60 protesters were arrested, but those who were imprisoned were freed after
Open fire, but anybody died?
just a few weeks, as the city jail couldn't afford to feed them.
Well, that's history for you. And I'm damn sure about to repeat it, but it's gonna be worse than ever before. Shit, yeah. Let me see. It's gonna be worse than ever before. I'm gonna have to look in more about food riots. You know what? Let me check out food riots in the United States. Food riots in Minneapolis in the Great Depression in America. Oh shit. In America, the greatest country in the world. Huh, I'm being funny. In America, greatest country in the world. Shit. Let me stop singing. Made in the US is 2008. Give me some more update. This is what hunger riots look like. What the hell is beef jerky? Hold on now. See, this is what hunger riots look like. As the food crisis worsens, we see what happens. But what the hell am I seeing? I want to see like a list. I need to just type in list. USA. Anyway, just go on, head on. They ain't gonna give me what I want. Google.
Hello, my name is Evan.
I don't care who your name is. Google wanna be a bitch. Anyway, let's go into the last video. This video get too long. Talking about SHTF crisis in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. What can we learn? We learn how. For you Israelites, better learn the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, and understand this is ultimately their doing. They're causing these events to happen. They causing all these swords to happen, causing all these judgments to happen. Because why? Because they have the power to do that. They've been doing it for many years, and they ain't gonna stop until the Lord Yahweh Shah return, until Yahweh allows His Son to be returned to show His face and show what the Heavenly Father given him, that power.
Hey guys, welcome to Forward. We're a new type of doctor's office that's providing.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Popular Preparedness. This is going to be a review of what's happening overseas in the country of Sri Lanka. In the preparedness community, we have a lot of people who like to speculate a lot. We have a lot of people who have watched far too many movies, and their understanding of what an SHTF situation, what a global collapse or a country's collapse looks like, is informed a lot more by fiction and people's imaginations than it is by historical examples. Right now
I'm looking at on this side of the screen. They talking about riots, but then also they throwing race riots. Civil war due to food shortages. Okay, Southern bread riots. Yeah, that's March 6, 1863 in Virginia. But they just got a bunch of riots. They probably gonna throw in the LA riots. Yeah, Wikipedia. They're gonna throw all these riots in. But what about food related riots? Oh, you know what? Let me type that in. Let this back play.
we are in real time watching the collapse of a society over in Sri Lanka. I want to go over what has been happening because this is very useful information for people who are worried about collapses in their own countries. What would that look like? What could that potentially look like? What kind of ends up happening? How does this domino to crisis levels? So Sri Lanka of course, is just off the coast of India, and they now have installed a new prime minister. They have a new government, and this is after and as a result of massive protests in which hundreds of people have died, police officers attacked, many houses and mansions and buildings burned, violent protests, right? So the new...
I'm not gonna play this video too long, but I'm gonna play it, but I'm gonna stop somewhere around 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna wrap it up.
Prime Minister Ranil, has now said that where they are as a country is that they have 1 day worth of oil in the country. Now, they have 3 tankers sitting off the coast that they cannot actually get them to unload because they don't have any dollars to give them. And that's going to be one of the main thrusts we're going to be talking about here. They are also running extremely low on food. And there's just no food out there. And that's part of the reason why there was the protest in the first place. So we have this collapse in this country because they don't have any trading dollars in this case, right? When we look at what's happening in other countries, when a country's currency becomes devalued to the point where nobody internationally wants their currency, it stops being a medium of trade. So in the United States, if the dollar were to become worthless or becomes a non-viable protest,
I'm gonna skip some.
And this happened on May 9th, I'm sorry. I can't read my writing. May 9th, they had this massive face-off. 219 people were injured, 9 people were killed. And this wasn't even the government attacking the protesters. This was pro-government people attacking the anti-government people.
Hey, what does that sound like? Shit. I gotta zoom out. That sounds like the word. Come on now. Come on, baby. Oh, shit. Division. I'll just say division. I'm trying to get to division. Yeah, but it sounds like division to me. Oh, I shouldn't have went down. Here we go. And they say the Lord, what he says, Luke chapter 12, verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather division. For from haste forth, there shall be 5 in a house divided. Hold on, there's supposed to be more than that. What the rest of it? Against okay. Well anyway, 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. I swear I had more in here. I must have accidentally deleted it. I don't know. We got some more, suppose. Oh, duh. This is the other part of it. Ugh. Yeah, that's more. As a matter of fact, I might as well go ahead and get rid of this. Servants. I might keep this part. I'm gonna get rid of this part because I already got it right here. Now I just noticed that. Let me see. Let's start with 50, and that's good enough. And let me go to where I left off at because I knew I had that scripture somewhere, but it was like cut off half. And let me get to start with 53. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter-in-law against the mother. And the daughter against the mother, and the mother-in-law and her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. And he said also to the people, when ye see the cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower. And so it is. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's gonna be division in the people's households and all, but also they gonna be division where you got people who are pro, like you seen it from 2021 or 2020 to 2021 about the juicy juice, the pro juicy juice and the anti juicy juice, the pro jab and the anti jab. Then you're gonna have the pro CHIP to the anti CHIP, or either the MOTB, the pro MOTB and the anti MOTB. And like say you got other divisions, race, you know, um, the wealthy, of course, class, who else? The haves and the have-nots and niggas who got bigger rims, just stupid shit, or Edomites who got bigger guns, you know, they get mad because I got more ammo than you do, or my truck lift is bigger than your truck lift for them rednecks in the South. But anyway, but they all rednecks anyway, either in the South or up north, or either Russian rednecks. But anyway, there's gonna be a lot of division everywhere you go. And when all this division, let's read Mark chapter 3, verse 23. This is what the Lord, what's gonna happen with all this division, especially the house of Satan. And he them called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? This is a parable. He talk about the Edomites, the so-called white man. They are Satan. And you got some Jasons in the house of Satan too. But this is actually the Edomites. They do the work of Satan. How can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. I mean, shit. And you say if somebody's disagreeing that the Edomites, the so-called white people, are not Satan like spiritual Satan, they are the physical counterparts of Satan. They do the works of Satan because look how they got their works. How did they get this world? From bloodshed, rape, rob, and murder. That's something that's evil. Ain't Satan? Like people think that spiritual counterpart is Satan or spiritual Satan is evil. Look what they physically doing. Evil. They've been got this country and the whole world through evil and deceit, lies, rape, rob, and murder. Yep. And a lot of you fuck people still, you know, mushroom tip riding on them still. But anyway, the Lord gonna come back and cut that crap out. And we continue on chapter 25. And if a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but no have an end. Yeah, there's gonna be an end, and we're at that end right now, seeing the fall of Esau, Edom's kingdom, so-called Edomites, white people. And then it ain't necessarily so-called white people, they're red. And then an Edomite doesn't have to be a so-called white person. It could be a brown-skinned person you think that's so-called black, or so-called another brown-skinned person like a so-called Latino or Native American, $5 Indian. Um, or them one of those Russian Edomites, or them French Edomites, or those Italian Edomites, or those just say the Hamites could look somebody real dark skinned could be a Edomite. And then them Asian people could be Edomites. The seed of Edom is everywhere all over the world, just like Israel. We're the sands of the sea. Yep, we're the sands of the sea. We are we cannot be counted. Only the Lord, Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, knows how many Israelites are out here. We can't know. We don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna end this video right now. If you want to check the rest of this video out, be my guest. Here go the title of the video, and it goes popular preparedness. Yeah, I mean, even though you got so many Edomites, I'll play these videos because they come out with a lot of news information, and some of them might not be Edomites. You never know. He could be a Hamite. Shit, you never know. Shit, yeah. But anyway, let me shut up. Anyway, I just want to say to the men out there teaching and preaching in the name of Yahweh Shem Shah, keep on pushing, keep the faith strong, and stay humble, and don't give up, and don't give in. especially in that hour of temptation. And for you women out there teaching, I'm not teaching. For you women out there, your faith strong, keep your faith strong, and stay humble, stay in order. For your man, if you ain't got a man, keep in order for your how about Shema Shah, for the hopeful elect. Um, peace and blessings, and all praise Yahweh Shem Shah. Shalom.